What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the dojo. I'm Kyle, your host, and today we're going to be talking about, is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu actually good for self-defense? Well, I think so, and I'm a two-stripe blue belt, so you should listen to everything I have to say. No, in all seriousness, guys, today we're going to be jumping in. I think I can prove why it is one of, if not the best martial art for a lot of people for self-defense. And this is totally my opinion. If you have a different one, please, for the algorithm's sake, please, type it in the comments below. I'd love to hear your take on this, but let's jump right into it. Okay, point number one. And before I start this, I want to just say I am talking about the average Joe, not John Jones before he became him. I'm not talking about the young, super athletic, strong, 210-pound guy. I'm just talking about middle of the bell curve, your average Joe, average Jane. And I think that's kind of where these tier lists start to veer off into uncharted territory, where they're saying that certain martial arts are better than others. I think I'm trying to encompass the largest amount of people. Okay, I'm hugging you guys through the screen. I love you, my 10 subscribers.
Love you guys.
Shout out to those 10 subscribers. You guys are great. I love you. We're building. Okay, you're getting on the ground floor. This is gonna be something. All right. We're manifesting here. All right, guys. Before we jump into point number one, please like the video. It helps a lot. I think. I don't really know how the algorithm works, but every other YouTuber says that. So please like the video and subscribe. That'd be great. All right. Point number one. Not everybody wants to get punched in the face, and I know this kind of seems like an obvious point, but it's just, I think, true for the majority of average Joes out there, which is, remember what we're talking about. Not the guy who's like the willing fighter who wants to, become some UFC champion. We're talking about just the average person who wants to do this for a hobby, has a job, has some kids. If you tell them, yeah, you're gonna have to get punched in the face if you want to get good at this striking martial art. You're gonna have to do some sparring, and that's gonna, unfortunately, result in, a little bit of brain damage. I mean, you can mitigate it with, and certain gyms have better culture with sparring and things like that, but it's definitely something to take into account. The CTE is real, and yeah, it's just, I think, something that a lot of people will veer away from if they think, okay, if that's a part of it, then no thanks, I'll pass. But with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it doesn't have the striking, which obviously can be a downside depending on how you look at it. But if your brain health is very important to you, and you're just not willing to go to that level of, violence, if you will, and getting punched, then I think it's a great thing to train. It, focuses on submissions, so joint locks, arm locks, chokes, and you're not actually trying to get punched or trying to punch someone in the face, or getting punched isn't a prerequisite. So I think for that reason alone, it does encompass more of that middle of the bell curve, like I was talking about. All right, point number two. It's widely accessible. Okay, this is something that drives me crazy with these tier lists. They'll be like number 1, 2, and 3. It's like Kudo, Combat Sambo, and Catch Wrestling. And I'm like, dude, where?
Dude, where's my car? Where's your car, dude?
Where are you training these martial arts? There's like 5 Kudo gyms in North America. I would love to train Kudo. It seems like the coolest martial art. Shout out Kudo. But you guys are great. But honestly, it's just hard to find gyms. And I think if we're trying, remember, our criteria is best martial art for the most people for self-defense. And so it needs to be accessible. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, whether good or bad, has turned into a bit of Taekwondo in the 90s, where there's like a freaking Jiu-Jitsu gym on every street corner. So it's very widely accessible for most people around the world, not just North America. But it's, I'm saying in most metropolitan areas, I guess. I shouldn't say for everyone, but it's definitely very accessible in the grand scheme of martial arts as a whole. So I think that point is is maybe undersold. If there's something that it could be the greatest martial art in the world, but if you can't train it, then it's kind of like, what good is it to you? So that's my point number 2. All right, point number 3. We're talking about multiple attackers. I know you guys were waiting for this. You're like, dude, how are you gonna fight 3 people with jiu-jitsu? And you're probably not. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. But luckily, for the majority of cases, you don't have to. Okay, this might be my most controversial take in the whole video, but point number 3, according to the Bureau of Justice Statistics for North America, most fights, most violent assaults are one-on-one and they're unarmed. And I think that's something that needs to really be taken into account. Because obviously, if we're talking about multiple attackers, I'm under no illusion that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is the best. It's not the best idea to be rolling around with one person trying to grapple them while his buddy's kicking you in the head. Okay, that's not a great idea. Striking, definitely better for multiple attackers. But luckily, according to these statistics that support my point,
what a genius.
It does seem like the majority of fights and self-defense situations are one-on-one without weapons, which I think in those cases, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu really provides you with the most reliable way to win for most people. You don't have to be super athletic and explosive and be able to knock someone out, and hit them basically hard enough to incapacitate them and stop them. You can simply avoid strikes and then close the distance, take that person down, control them, and at that point you can kind of decide how far you want to take it. And that segues me into my final point, my 4th point. And this is something that I think that doesn't get talked about nearly enough. I swear, in like 95% of these videos on self-defense on YouTube, they're always talking about, hey, it's life and death, it's self-defense.
I'm gonna fight dirty.
Now, everything that I've seen about Krav Maga, like terrifyingly aggressive. What sets it apart from other systems?
So I'm not I'm not gonna be worried about fighting dirty, about rules, about social norms or anything. I wanna go home to my family. So I'm gonna fight.
Win it, do anything necessary to win. And while I can agree in some situations, I think in a lot of situations, and we've seen plenty of videos of this online, holding someone down and just controlling them until help comes, until the authorities get there, until you have some bystanders who can kind of step in as well, that can be the best thing that you can do from a legal standpoint. And I'm not a lawyer. I'm not giving any legal advice.
It doesn't make sense to me.
So I don't know what I have to say to protect myself here, but I'm not giving any legal advice. But I will say that I think it allows you to avoid potential legal problems down the line a little bit more so than, punching someone in the face, basically. You've all heard stories of someone getting hit and then them falling down, hitting the back of their head, and that's it. And it's like, ooh, that's especially on concrete and things like that, it's a real risk you're taking. But if you can just hold someone down and control them, it really mitigates a lot of those potential problems, and is something that the vast majority of people don't consider, but probably should before starting a martial art. It's like, hey, this is something that is a huge benefit that nobody talks about when it comes to grappling martial arts in general. But I think out of all the grappling martial arts, and I can make a tier list at some point to kind of give my thoughts on every individual martial art, but I think as far as the grappling martial arts go, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu does provide the best way to control someone on the ground. Maybe not the best at takedowns compared to some, but I think it does the job well enough in the majority of cases. And there's plenty of videos online showcasing this. A Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy getting into a fight, clinching up, dragging the guy to the ground one way or another.
Yes, this is my dad. This is my dad. They're fighting right now. My dad I'm 19.
Oh, fuck, purple. Good, I'm down. I'm down. On camera. Okay.
And once it's there, he's in control and he's able to subdue his attacker. Okay, guys, so that is my video. Those are my points. And to wrap up, again, this is for the average Joe. And I think for the average Joe, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu makes a lot more sense than a lot of other martial arts that are out there, being that it's safe, you're not getting brain damage, you're able to find a gym, it's really widely accessible. It's going to help you in most real fight situations where you're fighting against one person and you don't have to be the most athletic or the most coordinated. It allows you a pathway to victory, or I guess survival, in a lot of those scenarios, and in a way that avoids, potential legal harm. It allows you to kind of dictate how far you want to take that altercation, depending on, how life and death it really might be. So anyway, this is just my opinion. Please, if you disagree or you think, you could add something to my list or you have a counterpoint, please put it in the comments below. We're trying to grow this dojo here, and I want as many of you guys to subscribe as possible, want as much feedback as possible. So anyway, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Happy training. Peace.